Have you seen this new viral Dubai chocolate?
Dubai chocolate?
Yeah.
That's a new one.
It looks like they got cow shit in it. Disgusting.
It's, that's probably what it is.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes.
Go back to your own country. What the fuck?
What?
Shout out to Matt Berry. Fucking legend.
Oh. Hello, Raven. So, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Good day to you, sir. Welcome to the General Admissions Podcast. It's us, your boys. Please do consider liking and subscribing and follow us on here and all that fun stuff. We have a link tree where you can find a bunch of neat things and stuff and things and all those neat, just swell things.
Swell things.
How you doing today, John?
I'm okay. I'm not bad.
Good.
I'm hot.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm hot.
Tall glass of milk, that one.
Yeah, cheese.
Oh,
it's hot.
It's been warm. It's been pretty warm the past few days. And I'm normally partial to like cold, like not freezing. Like I love fall. Like I love like hoodie weather. That to me is like the best.
Yeah, I lean that more in that direction. Why is there remove? There we go. Yes, remove 2 items. Oh, just 1. Okay. All right, I'm gonna switch it over. So here we are. So are you watching the stream? Can you see this? Can you see this absolutely grotesque?
Grotesque.
Yeah, it's called kunafa, which I believe is like pistachio ground in with something else. And
you're talking about the stuff.
Yeah, the Dubai chocolate.
More like bye chocolate.
It looks like cow shit. It looks like vomit. It's disgusting looking. Looks completely unappetizing.
That's you know what? That's actually no. It looks like wet mulch or something. It's not. It doesn't
Grass
look
clippings.
Appetizing.
Yep. Not even the least.
I had a friend who actually made that. Looked up like how to make it, and I would try it. Look, you're right. It looks disgusting, but I would try it. I'm not gonna lie. Because I just my love for pistachio would outweigh my disgust.
What is kunafa? Kunafa.
Studies have shown it is actually cow shit. Well, there you go.
It's a traditional Arab dessert made with kadif, spun pastry dough, layered with cheese, soaked in sweet sugar-based syrup, attar, called attar. Kunafa is popular through the Arab world, especially in Levant, and is often served on special occasions and holidays. And the most variant of kunafa is Jordan and Palestine, originated blah blah blah. This doesn't look half bad. This is that stuff. Optic ejection.
That doesn't look that bad at all.
No, I could probably get through that. But the Dubai chocolate, everyone's gonna try the Dubai chocolate. That looks like something out of the 90s that would have like a vampire on the front of it.
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Right?
Yeah. You know, and I feel like just 90s snacks were like just better. Like I feel like Dunkaroos was like S tier. Fruit by the foot, like tie-dye berry fruit by the foot was just, you couldn't beat it. You couldn't get better than that, honestly.
Gross chocolate. I know that. Yeah, there's one. I know that there was one that actually had like it was like they were called like goopers or some shit like that, where they had like green goop on the inside of it. Oh, is that Boglins? Yeah, there's one. Is that actually chocolate? No, I think they're plastic.
What else? 3D Doritos were just better.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a different, like, I remember they tried to bring it back, and then the 3D Dorito. I feel like the 3D Doritos that they remade were like thicker. It didn't feel. I don't know, it just wasn't the same, man. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that.
It's not the
So,
same.
all right, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing out there? Today's video is titled "If You're Going to Do It, Own It." And that goes for everything. If you're going to do it, fucking own it.
Ain't that the truth?
Be proud of it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Meanwhile, Steve's distracted.
I, listen. We started this episode a little earlier than I thought. I thought I had enough time to squeeze a match in. I just
You
swung too early
motherfucker
on
are
a
playing
melee.
video games again?
Look, babe. Look, I lost, so it's okay.
Good. Raven, what's wrong? Why are you okay-ish?
That's just her. She's just
Always
perpetually
okay-ish.
just constantly just sad.
Sad Raven. Quoth the Raven.
Quoth the Raven.
So are you done?
Yes.
Cool.
Anyhoozle. Yeah, I unlocked the Hayabusa helmet. I'm really proud of that. It was a grind.
I'm proud of you too.
But yeah, but I like the title for today, because if you're gonna do it, own it. And I think that's so true. In people are too shameless. Or no.
You're covering your mic a little bit with your hand.
Oh shit. People, not shameless. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well,
People are, maybe it is shameless. Yeah, I feel like people today are just too shameless, and I feel like we need to bring back bullying.
It's actually
shaming.
it's yeah, it is a lack of shame, but it's also like they are so shameless that they don't want people to shame them for what they do.
Yeah.
And it's my personal belief. It's actually funny because this kind of harkens back to a conversation I was having with my father. Too many people are looking for validation outright, and they're not doing it because
on the internet.
Yes, they're looking for outside validation instead of actually internal validation. And that's a them problem, obviously. But if you're doing something, it doesn't matter what it is, and you require the outside validation for you to continue doing it, you're not doing something you actually enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Because you're focusing more on your image per se than the actual thing.
You're looking more at what the outside perspective or perception actually is. And I think if everybody understood that a little better, world might be a little better.
Well, that kind of like, it's kind of, I can't help but like make fun of in my head. Like I don't really vocalize it too much, but like when I see people, like, you know, whether I was, you know, working at the club or like the bar that I'm working at now, like when I see these people that spend so much time on like, oh, I got to make sure my hair looks just good, and this, that, and you know, make sure that the shirt and everything, and then they go, and it's like, they're like cookie cutter people. Like it's literally you look exactly the same. Like I go to, like, I'm at work, I'm like, oh look, there's the same person 7 times just walking by, and it's like they all have that same like broccoli haircut, and they have to have like the button up shirt, but like unbuttoned halfway down, and then like the 5-inch seam shorts with the boat shoes, like it's just
I would have
like
always.
nobody's original, and they focus so much on their image that I feel like it deters, not deters, what's the word I'm looking for, but it impedes on their ability to project their inner self. They focus so much on the outside where the inside is just lacking the attention that it needs, if that makes sense.
I consider myself a goth. Do I have black fingernails? No. Did I in high school? For a little bit.
Yeah, and the black lipstick and the
Yeah, but
guy
that-
liner. Don't be modest.
Yeah, but I wasn't big into that stuff. I don't like wearing the makeup. Matter of fact, I don't like wearing makeup, and I don't like people that I know that like my girlfriends and my wife. Not
I did
current.
the guy liner briefly.
No. How do I? So my previous girlfriends and my current wife. I don't like makeup, period, at all. Really, like not really a fan of it. Like the girls, I mean, you talk about trust issues working at the club, and the girls would come in looking one way, looking like a homeless person, and then the next thing you know, they'd pop out of the dressing room, and it's like,
Yeah, and I always mock on the paradox of them coming into work as if they're,
that's a little
on
different.
a 2-week long vacation, and it's just like, and then they're on stage and it's like microkini.
Yeah, that's a little different. I mean, that's a part of the industry, so okay, I understand it. But I'm talking about like I to this day like wear all black, and it's really the only color that I'm like seriously comfortable in. I will wear like other colors here and there, but like a band t-shirt, black cargo shorts, black shoes, black socks, black underwear, black everything. That's just me. Like that's just
I'm like blue jeans and like a gray t-shirt.
I only started wearing blue jeans after I had kids, like legit.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could go back to the 90s. I wish the Jenko brands and all that stuff, because that's the thing, is that I was sort of like slash skater slash BMX slash like goth kid.
You could still get Jenko jeans.
Yeah, they're fucking expensive. They're even more expensive than they ever were before. You know, they used to be like $100, and I'd be like, oh, they're $100 jeans. Ooh. And now they're like fucking $400. Yeah. And then if you want like the classics, like the old school ones, and you want to like try and thrift them, they're like fucking $300-400 fucking dollars. Yeah. And if they're in mint condition, they're like fucking $500-600-700. Stupid.
Oh no, here you go. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, it's on this computer.
What'd you find? Fine. Jenkos. I mean, I know they came back.
I've gotten this is my all-time favorite clothing store ever.
I'll look it up. What is it?
Shameless plug. I'm about to link it to you in the.
Tell me it. I'll just search it.
The live chat.
What is it?
Yeah, about $120.
$120. $120.
Shout out to Vapor 95. Fucking.
Where did you
like graphic tees and hoodies and all that shit and stuff? They had a mirror that they discontinued. I wanted to get it so bad, but it was like a CDR that you just hung up on the wall, and it was like a flexible thing so it wouldn't break. Yeah, oh my god, was it cool?
These weren't the ones that I wore. And that's the thing that bothers me, is like it's only like 2.
Yeah, well, because it's their own. They're not like legit Jenko. It's their own brand that they make.
Vapor 95, yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is. Jenko. This is Jenko LA. They were comfy.
Dude, you could fit a whole Nintendo 64 in your back
Yeah,
pocket.
fuck
It was
yeah.
great.
They're basically jean pajama pants.
Yeah. Here you go. Yeah, Jenko Los Angeles. 101 twin cannon 26-inch vintage in size 30 by 30.
$160.
$100.
$100.
You can get a pair from Shein for $25.
Yeah, no, I'm not spending. I'm not helping. No, I'm not spending money in Shein. Now, one of my favorite pairs of jeans that I ever had were called pipes. They were Lee pipes. My dad hated them. I don't care.
Lee pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those are the ones you were stepping on the heel of the pant leg, and they were getting worn into real quick. With the giant, like the giant skater shoes that were.
Here they are. This was
where
basically
you only
them.
see the front of them.
I didn't have the little dragon logo, but yeah, they were huge. They were fucking huge. $140 for
wallet chain.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Rave pants.
What a time, man! What a time. And I think that really tells, like, I've heard time and time again that, like, we peaked in '99.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the world ended in 1999, and we're just in a simulation now.
Hi, Holden. Cyberpunk and Sithwave. Year 2K fruited your arrow.
Yeah, they got a lot of really cool designs on there. They got bucket hats, stickers, fucking phone cases, swim trunks, pajama pants. Pajama pants, that's a new one.
Joggers.
I got a pair of joggers from them.
Graphic hoodies. That's the thing that I miss is, like, how did the world get fake after 1999? How old are you, Holden? Are you a 2000s baby?
I think he's in his mid-20s, yeah. Yeah.
You used to be able to go to a surf shop and you could get an oversized hoodie that was like you could swim in, and it would be at a large. It would be like an extra large.
Yeah.
You can't get you can't fucking find those anymore.
Yeah, now if you want to get like a big hoodie, you got to get like a double X or a triple XL.
So yeah, you definitely don't remember what life in the 90s was like. And I act like a toddler. If you do it, own it.
Yep.
You don't act like a toddler, although your curiosity is impeccable. Lost brand hoodie. Remember Lost? Lost clothing. Yeah, they changed. This is where I used to wear all these Lost hoodies. Mayhem.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
Bottom tops.
I think I had
changed her shirt.
I think I had one of their shirts before that it said like Cyclone or something.
These. It was actually quite the opposite. The 90s were far from racist, violent, and homophobic. No, it was the 90s is what was like is the reason. When was it Obama? When was gay marriage legalized? 2015. I thought it was Clinton too. I know that Clinton was pushing for it, but no, it was Obama in 2015. It was one of the last things he did. Yeah, but no, they were pushing for it. They were pushing for it in the 90s. I mean, fucking Pride got established in the 90s. Mostly. What it is today was, I know that Pride Parade started back, I think as far back as like the 60s or 70s. We're into numerology already. When were Pride parades started? But they started with Harvey Milk. I'm pretty sure is that Harvey Milk? That was the guy. He started it back in like the 70s or 80s.
Is that why that movie was called Milk? Because the guy's name?
Yeah.
I thought it was because
78. So he started in the 80s. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, the 90s were very not. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, like late 80s, early 90s, there was the AIDS scare, and that people did get a little more homophobic about that around then, because of the way that it was projected in the media. But overall, I would say that no, the way that I grew up and in the areas that I grew up, it was far less than it is now. Now I would say now is worse. Now is legitimately worse than it's ever been after the 80s.
Agreed. I have an iced tea sitting in the fridge. I'm gonna grab real quick.
Imagine being raised and surrounded by hippies your whole childhood in Vermont during the 90s. I feel like it would smell. People are far more homophobic now. They're far more because it's been politicized. What's up, Tyson? You got to be a little more. We talk about a lot of things, Tyson. Got to be more specific. Not sure which one, but point of view and being raised to dance around the farms and mountains of Vermont. Not surprised.
Oof.
I thought so.
I made like a hot tea earlier, like a spiced peach hot tea.
Steve.
And I yeah.
So you and I grew up, we're virtually the same age, same generation.
Speak for yourself. I'm still the biggest 5-year-old I know, but go on.
So during the 90s and early 2000s, would you say that the times were far more accepting of gays and the gay lifestyle and the LGBT movement?
Then now?
Yes.
More so for anyone who was like gay, bi, lesbian. Like I think that really was like trending a lot because like that's when like being like bi or gay was kind of like it started.
It was
There were people pretending to be bi or anything like that as like
as
as a
social
way.
status.
Yeah, it was like a way to be like trendy and kind of be like more socially accepted. Trans wasn't really there wasn't a big like trans movement
No,
in the
not at
90s or
all.
early 2000s, but for like lesbian, gay, bi, whatever, more so.
So, not Tyson, Halden asked,
I
"How
would
is
say it
it?"
was more socially acceptable than I would say it's pretty even as far as socially acceptable, but for like trans stuff, it wasn't as prominent as trans people are now today. But I think that's because like the whole trans movement is being pushed so much through media and social media and film and all this other stuff, and even like fucking like kid shows and shit.
So I remember growing up, and in our areas, there were like I don't want to say like safe zones, but they were just known to be like an area where it was far more acceptable to be openly gay. So like there's places like one of my favorite places to go. Not, no, South Street in Philadelphia was one of them. Then there was the other one that's over in it's like part in Jersey, part in PA. Why am I drawing a blank on this? I love going there.
I bet you do.
Yeah, I bet you do. No. What the fuck? I am completely New Hope. New Hope, Pennsylvania. Was known for being like a safe area to be openly gay, and there was like all gay owned businesses and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like the shots. Now I can't speak for the West Coast because I didn't get to the West Coast until later in my life in like 2012, 13, 14. But on the East Coast, it was far less. Everybody knew somebody who was everybody, and nobody like they were always. There was no hunting. There was no hunting of the gays when I was
Yeah.
growing up in our area at all. Like fucking everybody knew one, at least one person, hands down, and it's not the same one.
Yeah.
You go to New Hope all the time. It's the fucking best. But since it's gotten fucking politicized, it's been corporatized, and New Hope is not what it fucking used to be. And that's my beef with it, is because this political, yeah, I don't know, something has like gotten its claws and it corporatized it. It was so much better when it was actually like counterculture. Was Marlton known to be a safe place? I don't know. I didn't really spend a lot of time in Marlton. I grew up at like all over South Jersey, so that's why I kind of speak this way. I grew up on the western side in a place called Haddon Heights, Voorhees. Um, I also grew up over here in Galloway, Clayton, and I think it was much more acceptable to use gay slurs to insult everybody back then, and it was much more loose when they would say that. I paid. You're not even supposed to be awake right now, Uber.
Steve,
Here you go.
thank you.
You're welcome. You're not supposed to be playing with the iPad. Here, go with your brother. Go with your brother.
Can I pet that dog?
Come on, Archie. Love you, Daddy.
Love you too.
Yeah, I didn't really have
What's that,
go
Tyson? Using them as
travel a lot.
using them as slurs, or because that's the thing is like when we were kids, like I'm trying to think of what the actual equivalent of what it would be in like modern vernacular. You ever live in Tabernacle or Atzion? Ironically, you say that. My mother lives in Tabernacle now. I love Atzion Lake, and I love that all the whatchamacallit back in Atzion. Like the term "that's sus" in the 90s would be "that's gay," right, Steve?
I would say it would like if someone were to say like, oh, that's gay, like people would be like, oh, like that's the equivalent of saying like, oh, that's lame.
Yeah, but they use "sus" in the same sort of swap out. And I think that's even where "sus" came from, was meaning that you were suspicious that a person.
It may have. I don't know. I'm not up to par with my Gen Z lingo.
I just know that we all just kind of like grew away from it because it was infantile. And there's just better ways to insult people than bringing up their sexuality.
Yeah. Well, I saw a meme recently that was actually really funny that said something like oh, like I used to make fun of my friend because he never had a girlfriend.
Among Us, Tyson.
And then I found out he was just gay, so now I make fun of him because he doesn't have a boyfriend.
Pick's got the best wings. She literally lives like right down the street from the Pick. So now I know where you lived out in Halden. I know where you live. That's not South Jersey. Yeah, it is.
Oh, I fucked up.
Why'd you fuck up?
I mentioned Vaporwave and now I'm window shopping on Vapor 95. I got to minimize this window. I got to stop.
Are we talking? Are we talking? What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, we're talking. I was talking while I was window shopping. I was like, oh man, this is a cool design. I'd love to have this shirt. Which, by the way, folks, subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Twitch and Kick and Rumble and all that fun stuff. And come check us out and support the channel so we can afford cool t-shirts.
I'm gonna say this, and this is a personal sentiment. This is my Streamlabs. This is currently our full-time job at Subs. This is just my opinion. I could be wrong here. I liked it when gay was counterculture. I missed that. Like, if you wanted to go to like the best counterculture stores, it was usually in a gay owned and ran area. And now it's become
one place in Baltimore that I went to for food, and it was like a gay.
Not a gay restaurants bar, like are a whole nother animal. The fucking some of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at in my entire life was in a specifically gay area. Like they had a better standard of living. And now it's corporate. Yeah. And it's fucking ruined.
Because corporates say like, I mean, look at every fucking corporate social media logo. like during Pride Month, like all of them changed their logos with like to have some sort of rainbow.
But don't improve their fucking quality.
Like, yeah. It's just like, hey, look at us. We support gay stuff. Buy our merchandise. And as soon as it's over, it's like, all right, guys, back to business as usual. Fuck these queers. We're gonna make our money.
Don't clip that.
Somebody will misconstrue it.
But yeah, like
corporate. That's the thing. Corporate entities don't truly give a shit.
No.
About, like, if I see a corporate entity that puts their logo with like a rainbow thing, and then as soon as June's over, like July 1st, they switch it back to the normal one. It's like, do you really support like gay people then, or are you just trying to, like, you know, monetize?
Well, the reason is because traditionally gay men and women are the ones that were originally like very career focused and didn't have any children. So they had a lot of what do they call that? Not extra money, but like what is that called? When you make a lot of money and you have a lot of money to spend.
Spending money?
Yeah, essentially. So that's why, like
extra income, because they're not spending it on like diapers and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
because diapers can get fucking expensive.
But like originally, like sex shops, adult stores, adult bookstores, the best ones were at like New Hope, and it's because like it was all counterculture. Now you go to New Hope and it's like dresses. It's like the same fucking like sheen dresses that you can get in a mall. It's like
you go to a sex shop in New Hope and it's like, it's so clean.
It's like so fucking clean.
You go to the ones in like Atlantic City and you're just like, I don't even want to touch this doorknob.
Just churned my stomach. But like that's once they got into that, and then it's like you said, it's because they realized that they had all the extra income that they could spend, that they were willing to spend. So let's start catering towards that demographic. And that's when it became corporatized. And that's when fucking Mercedes decided to do a rainbow symbol. It wasn't because they actually, and actually that's being more shown right now than it ever has before, because it's always the bottom dollar. It's always, did you hear what happened with Penn University?
No.
Yeah, once their funding got threatened to be revoked, they stripped Leah Thomas of all of her medals. They stripped her of she's out of the record books, gone.
I don't know who that is.
It's a long story, but essentially, when it comes down to funding, all these places, colleges that, you know, swear they have your back, will immediately kick your fucking back in for the dollar. And that's the point, is that's sort of what's happening in the gay community right now. If it's not a gay run business, they don't uphold your fucking, they don't care about your rights. They don't care about your upstanding. They don't care about you. They just care about your wallet. Target and all these other fucking places that immediately dropped all that stuff.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat. And they'll still come out and they'll still do the, we're here for pride and we're here, but they're not. They're fucking not. They're lying to your face.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying. They don't, there's anything that they can see to capitalize on, they'll fucking jump right at it. But yeah, there definitely seems to be, I will say, it seems, how should I word this? Like in the 90s and early 2000s, like when I was in high school, there was a lot of, like, I had like a half a dozen friends at least, just like in school alone, in my school that I went to, that like I hung out with, that were gay or lesbian or bi or whatever. And one of them actually ended up being trans. Actually, now that I think about it, they had transitioned at one point after high school. But like, it's not that it wasn't really like socially acceptable. Like people you still had some people that would like call someone gay, like, oh, like that guy's a fag or
Well,
whatever. And
that's
like,
what I mean is back then, it wasn't actually it wasn't a slur as it is now. It was actually just a use, like a loose insult.
yeah, because like even straight guys were calling other straight guys like fags.
Right. It was an
Because
all around loose insult. It didn't mean.
it didn't mean, yeah, it didn't mean it. I think it like in ways that there were ways where it was meant to be demeaning towards gay men, but I think it was said a lot just as like to a straight man, as like you're saying, this is a loss of your manhood. You were not, you don't got your man card anymore. You don't got balls. You don't got like what it takes to be a man.
I think you're overthinking it. And I think a lot of people overthink it, because I really just think it's just like, it'd be no difference like calling a person a chicken shit means they're losing their humanity. Like,
I mean, it's the same as like calling someone a coward.
Well, yeah, but does that actually mean that they're actually, like, that's what I mean, is it's just an insult. You can call somebody a fucking sister fucker because you think that they're inbred. Does that actually mean that they're actually fucking their sister?
No.
Right?
Probably not. But you never know in Alabama.
You never know. Well, it's Alabama. Who's Liam O'Rourke? Thank you for talking in, but I don't know what Mon the Killy is. MONTHEKILLIE. I think that's the biggest problem, is that we started allowing words to hurt.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of like,
words legitimately only have the power that you give them.
Yeah.
And when you started,
that's another thing. People get so offended over like words now.
Well,
like, you can't say certain shit because people can't people get so offended.
That's my point. People kill each other over fucking words. And realistically, what are your thoughts on the state of Alabama? I don't have any thoughts on the state of Alabama. I think I drove through it like once.
I've never been there.
I can tell you that driving through the state of Tennessee, if you went through the exact same path that I did, it smells like dead bodies. And that's because there's a body farm out there.
What?
Yeah, there is. There's legitimately a FBI body farm. I smelled it before anybody else did, and I was like, I smell rot. I smell dead bodies. And Steph was like, what? And I'm like, no, I do. And then we went like 5 miles more in, and she's like, oh, there is a funk. And I was like, oh yeah. And then we pulled up to a rest stop. It was a bunch of cars. And we get out, we're standing around. I was like, you guys smell that? And they're like, yeah, somebody must have hit something. I'm like, Nope. I looked it up. There's a fucking body farm in Tennessee. And they're like, oh God. I was like, that's human bodies. That's real human bodies. I'm like, that's what the apocalypse is going to fucking smell like when the fucking zombies are walking around.
Fucking body farm?
What? Body farm. You know what a body farm is?
No.
That's how they study. That's how forensics study how bodies rot, so they can get like time periods of like how long a body's been like out in certain circumstances. So they'll put one in a car, and they'll roll all the windows up, and they'll put them on in another car with all the windows down. And then they'll put one like out in the open, and then they'll put one under a mattress out in the open. And they keep track of all these things. And unfortunately, it's all outside. So it's like the smell just kind of goes out there.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was
gross.
Interesting. You could taste it. It was here. You smelled it here. It was rough. That fucking salty dankness. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, from what I understand, like bodies or rotting flesh smells a lot like anyone who's had like gauges or like piercings. You know, I clean mine every day when I'm in the shower. I take mine out, I clean them so I don't get that ear cheese, that schmeg, that bacteria, those dead skin cells that just accumulate. But I've had it where, like, you know, like especially when I was on tour and I didn't really have an opportunity to clean my ears as often, and there were times when it's just like I'd like turn my head and I'd get a whiff of my plugs, and I was like, ooh. I would just like run to the bathroom, rinse them off, rinse my ears out, grab paper towel, call it a day. Alabama is beautiful if you ask me. I'm sure it's a nice place. What's your job? Oh, I'm the one that puts bodies in cars. Victoria, good morning. Dobre jutro. Dobry wieczór. Сейчас. How are you? Good to see you. What are the lyrics in the song Southpaw? The song Southpaw. There's a few songs that are called Southpaw, isn't there? I'm not sure. That's such a random question. Southpaw lyrics, I guess. Look that up. Someone someone named Kip Moore wrote a song like that. I don't know.
Vibu.
The first lyric has
Good
cowboy
morning.
in it. I already don't like it. I should have been a cowboy living in the Black Hills, living on the outside of the law, crazier than Wild Bill, riding my quarter horse, kicking in saloon doors, drinking double shots of whiskey. Yeah. Wow, those lyrics are deep, man.
Victoria, good to see you, darling.
Oh, God, I can't stand country music.
I love country music.
Oh, it's so fucking
I love country music.
Garbage.
I'm lying. I hate country music. It's one of the only genres of music I absolutely cannot stand.
Ugh.
Decorporatize the gays. Decorporatize everything. The fall of the corporatocracy needs to happen.
Oh, by the second side. Oh my God. Holden, how the heck do you know about the second side? That's
wasn't it somebody? Didn't you know somebody from that band, Steve?
I knew a guy.
You knew a guy? Did you know a guy?
I knew a guy who knew a guy. Good to see you, Victoria. How you been? How are things? A fun fact actually, that song Southpaw was initially written to be, I was brought on, that song was written before I joined the band. I was brought on to do guest vocals for them and write the screaming parts, essentially, the verses, and then their original singer sang the chorus. And whenever they played it live and I was at a show, I would just hop on stage and do that part. And then not too long after that, Me versus I had disbanded, and pretty much around the same time their original singer had left. And since I already had some stage chemistry with those guys, they invited me to be their new lead singer. So that was that story, and that's kind of how I came to be a part of that, and that's the story of Southpaw. Good, working on restoring a painting right now. Interesting. went on YouTube and saw you guys were online. Yep, we're still kicking. We're still rocking. No handsome Brits today. No, we don't have any sexy British men accompanying us this time.
So there is a statue in Alabama called the Statue of Vulcan.
Vulcan, like Star Trek Vulcan?
No,
Damn.
he's supposed to be the god of Vulcan. The Greek god. Is that the one?
Huh.
No, that's not it. This is the one. This is the actual. But I'm trying to, because it's actually a tower. This is it right here. So, I am deathly afraid of heights.
Not a fan of them either. I'll go on a Ferris wheel if I have to, but you know, the Roman god Hephaestus is the Greek equivalent.
Hephaestus.
Hephaestus. Try saying that 10 times fast.
But this is what's cool about this place is that it's literally open to the public, like at any point in time. And me and my wife, we were doing a cross country drive, and we stopped here at like 11 o'clock at night, and we just went to the top of it. And we were walking around, and like, this doesn't do it any justice. This thing is massive. This thing is like, so.
Judging by the size of the gate in the foreground, yeah.
I think it's.
That's got to be at least like.
I think these bars are actually
70 feet.
3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that's 80 feet off the ground, and the observation deck is, you can completely see through it. So you walk out and it's just these little thin bars, and like, yeah, I sucked it up and walked over. I went all the way around, but yeah, I was fucking freaked out.
And then a very pale guy drove up in a car and said, "You should climb up there.
You should climb up there."
And he just kept saying that over and over.
So yeah, we drove through Birmingham, Alabama. Vulcan statue. Wait, there we go. It's 180 feet, so I was wrong. The statue itself is 56 feet, and the monument is 180 feet according to the Vulcan Park and Museum. The statue made of iron, cast iron. What's really cool is its observation deck literally looks over the entire city when you get up there. So, like, yeah, that's what you see.
And Vulcan is the god of what exactly?
He was the god of fire, I want to say. Made the weapons that Zeus.
French. What's French? Who of you
Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon used in the war with the Titans with the help of the Cyclopses. Where do you see French?
Victoria said in Twitch chat French, and then said, "Who of you is singing today?" The Price is Right.
But
one of us.
The Vulcan butt.
You had me at butt.
The moon over Homewood.
We're adults, we promise.
Never claimed.
Never claimed.
I never claimed to be an adult.
So if you are not a fan of heights, what would you, if you had an opportunity to like go in a for a ride in like a
Alan, pardon my French. That's who's talking. Alan, Vulcan ass is top tier. Yeah, right. Got sweet cheeks.
Yo, Vulcan stopped. Staten Island. Oh my God, Alan, I miss you, brother.
So you were saying what's my?
Oh, so if you had an opportunity to go, you know, fuck the F-16s and all that. Like if you could go for a ride in like the Blackbird or the Dark Star or like those high altitude planes, and you had an opportunity to go for a ride in those, would you do it?
No. No, probably not. That's because that's not really my gig. I like to go fast. So I would probably, if I could choose any aircraft to which to take a ride in, is what you're asking.
Yeah.
Then the A-10 Warthog. It's my favorite aircraft.
Love those.
You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would rather be yeah, big gun go burr. I would rather be in an A-10 Warthog like a handful of feet off the ground doing Mach fuck. And just
that's what I'm saying. Like the Blackbird goes Mach 7.
Yeah, that's cool, but you're doing Mach 7 where, you know, any feature on the fucking earth is like this big. That's cool. Right. That's cool. I would rather be in an A-10, like fucking zipping through and in and out of the trees and diving in fucking like canyons and shit and doing like, you know, what do they call that when you fly across the surface and you literally just do like the surface? I'd rather do that. Like,
if you're not a fan of heights, you should go to China on their glass bridge.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck all that. I've seen those videos, the glass bridge, and where they have the TV screens that look like it's cracking. Yeah, fuck all that.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Nope. No.
If you had an opportunity to travel to anywhere in I'll say our solar system, and you had like a guarantee, like you're just going there for a couple hours, you know, scope shit out, and you're guaranteed that you will make it back in one piece, no harm will come to you, this and that. You have like this impenetrable like super suit that can just,
I could go explore any planet in our solar system.
Any planet.
That's tough.
I'd rather put my hand in a bowl of scorpions. I'd fuck the scorpions. I'm definitely heading to Uranus.
Uranus?
Why Uranus? Why is everybody laughing?
See, everybody's going out. I think Venus or Mercury would probably be cooler.
Yeah.
Personally.
I'd want to see the chaos of Jupiter up close. That's a good one.
Yeah. I was thinking Jupiter, but I feel like you're not seeing much in Jupiter. Have you seen that they actually found a light in Jupiter?
No.
It might have been Jupiter or Saturn. But yeah, there was you know, people are, of course, they're scuttlebutting about what they think it is and that it's an artificial light. I think it's lightning. I think it's lightning.
It's probably lightning.
But yeah, it looked like there was a green light on, I think, Jupiter. They found
Venus would be immediate death. Too much atmospheric pressure. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you had like a suit that was like guaranteed to withstand any level of pressure and this and that, like
there was actually I was watching
a light on Jupiter. I think Victoria is saying it was a light on Jupiter.
Yeah, it was Jupiter. Let's tan my legs on Mercury.
Awesome.
I watched a video about there was Russia had sent a bunch of what do they call those unmanned, not satellites, a probe. They sent a probe to Venus, and Venus's atmosphere is like wild, like crazy wild, and they did all these different things to realize like how to actually get it to land on the surface, and they actually recorded like something like 7 or 11 seconds of video before the thing finally fucking died. Tending together the blue people.
Oh, this was from the Juno probe.
Which one?
The green light.
The green light
from Jupiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are saying it's like a bolt of lightning, green lightning.
Right. That's what I said. It's green.
Wow.
I think Mars is going to be lame. I think if you want to like explore Mars, you just go out to the desert.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting point. Methane lightning. Do you know anything about methane lightning?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, I don't know nothing about methane.
So I watched a report like when I was young, like 12 years old, about there's a spot down in the Amazon where there's this huge like methane geyser, and because of that, the lightning in that area, there's like a constant storm, but the lightning like never stops. It's just like boom, 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 and it's because the methane actually makes the atmosphere so thin that the lightning can just continue striking. I think it's really interesting that. Have you noticed that storms around this everywhere now do that?
I haven't noticed that. I was noticing because I love a thunderstorm, and I was actually sitting with my daughter on the front porch yesterday, 2 days ago, watching watching the rain and listening to the thunder, and I saw like across the sky. It was a good like.
Do you know about this website?
Lightning. Real-time lightning map. And ooh, I do not know about that. That sounds really cool though.
Joyzy. Yeah, it's really interesting because lightning now strikes in clusters instead of just, randomly in here and there. Storms in general have been weird. The term lightning never strikes in the same spot no longer applies. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is that, yeah.
Probe, now we're talking. I fucking miss you, Alan.
But yeah, this is a global website, and yeah, you can search anywhere, and sort of interesting the way that lightning.
That's pretty cool. I saw actually there was someone who was.
Have you ever been to East America? I mean, we live in West America, but have you ever been to East America?
What? But the Earth is flat. See, look how flat that shit is. Y'all just randomly zoom in on my address, just me and my boxers on lightning maps. Damn, we got 5 viewers on some gosh dang Kick and 4 on Twitch, and how many on freaking what's it called? YouTube?
Why is Streamlabs like spamming spam?
We got 3 on YouTube. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I think that's because
it's like fucking glitching out.
Timer. I think it's because it's on a timer, and it just. It's because it's Streamlabs.
Yeah.
Earth isn't flat. Cats would have pushed everything off the edge. Yeah.
Back to Alan trying to attack the fucking Streamlabs.
That's going to be the real uh content creator boxing match. Alan versus Streamlabs.
Well,
I saw something
there's
where
helicopters out there.
where
Out my door. I can hear them.
They're after him.
They're coming for me.
I saw something how a woman who was, I don't know if she was like an official meteorologist or if it was like or if it was just like a hobby.
Thank you for the sub.
Appreciate that, my man.
You just knocked all of our bits out of our glass.
Gadoosh! Oh my god, that sub badge was heavy as frick. God damn! All right, spaghetti. Appreciate that, my man. I saw something where
it said the second month.
Yeah.
He said, I wish it did because I'm the shit. Yes, you are.
There was a woman who was like I guess like an amateur meteorologist or something, but mentioned somewhere in the Gulf of Gulf of America now. It's but there was like these towers that she was seeing on Doppler that were detecting Gulf of Freedom.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, she monitors all the air and shows how the fucking, it's not just like one or two. There's towers all over the United States, and they randomly like just go off for like,
yeah. And there's and it's making these like rain clouds or something.
Oh yeah, they came out. They've openly admitted that they don't call it chemtrails. They call it cloud seeding. That cloud seeding has been a thing for several decades, as they're just letting us fucking sound like we're crazy.
Yeah, they openly admitted, yeah, we're putting stuff in the airplanes and spraying shit into the air.
They call it drought protection.
But it's also like aren't these chemicals like fucking harmful that they're putting in the air?
In massive dosages, yeah.
Aren't they putting massive doses in the air? Like entire plane tanks filled with it and then putting in the air. Is that not a massive dose?
Have you noticed that like when plants and trees, have you noticed that they turn like brown from the outside in instead of like as the whole plant they used to when we were kids?
I haven't noticed that actually.
Yep. It's usually from the top down and the outside in. And you will see leaves on the inside of the tree still being bright fucking green, but leaves out on the ends on like just the canopy will be like turning brown or slightly brown. And if there's like an overlap, this one will be browner than the one underneath of it, and just the tip will be brown. Ties in for freedom. Oh, he ties in. You're ridiculous, brother.
Wow, dude. Thank you. Holy crap. Tier 3.
How about that?
6 months in advance. Holy shit. Fucking legend, dude.
I don't know what to say. Thank you. The bottom of my
heart. Wow. Thank you, my man. That is insane. You know what? Just for you, stand by.
Are you going to get naked?
No, not here.
Steve's going to get naked. wrong stream. I love how everybody just knows. Everybody knows. Nobody cares. I just fuck yeah. Where did he go? What is he doing? He's gonna come back wearing like a dog mask. I swear to God. Let me get my beer and popcorn. Oh Lord, Lordy, Lordy. The tension is crazy. You can cut it with a knife, with a lightsaber. Swear, if he comes back wearing a bikini, I'm gonna lose my shit.
All right.
Really? A drink?
Celebration.
A drink?
Yep. Buchanan's Finest Reserve 12-year Scotch whiskey. Appreciate you, buddy.
Actually, just for you, leaves. This guy goes and gets himself a drink.
If you were here, I'd give you one. I'm sorry, you can't drink.
I can't drink. Do you have a bikini? Do you have like a fucking microkini from
A what?
Do you have a microkini from the club? You don't have one? Like one of the girls didn't leave
Why
you?
would I have? No. Why would I have that?
You don't have one from one of the
No, I never
trysts?
did. I didn't any. No, I never had a. No, John, we're not having this discussion right now here. No, not.
I just want you to wear a mini kini.
I have a few thongs for real. Fucking Alan. Anyway, cheers, lad. Thank you very much.
Bikini Steve, come on, Steve.
This is the best I could do. Right,
do it for the fans. Do it for the fans.
If I can like show nip. Oh no, I had a nip sip. Not the dirty skin.
Not the dirty skins. Oh God, it makes me feel out of
we went from 6 to 8 viewers. Hold on. Twitch man. Oh Christ.
Go get your pillow. Go grind your pillow for a while.
Why? Why are you? Why? Oh no. All right. Anyway.
Just you had no idea the camera was on. It worked. That worked for that one streamer.
Yeah, it was our worked for that one. Yeah, right. You're a madman, but thank you. I appreciate you. Now what do we talk about?
So, well, if you could ride in any aircraft, what aircraft would you ride in? Would you be a part of the Mile High Club? Holden says, "What would it be like? What would it be like to ride up a road that goes 9 vintillion feet in elevation in 15 minutes?" I'm pretty sure you'd die. I'm just from the G-force. I'm pretty sure you'd be dead. But both you and John Raven have kept me saying thank you. You're welcome, dude. I've always wanted to join the Mile High Club in a hot air balloon. I feel like that's dangerous.
A little bit cramped. God, what aircraft would I want to take a ride in? Probably like the Dark Star. I think that would be
See if you can hit
the
Mach,
coolest.
Mach 10
Yeah.
in the Dark Star. Supposedly there's actual like footage of it now.
Is there?
Yeah, supposedly there's footage in it.
Oh, I gotta get this shirt.
Dark
I
Star,
want this shirt.
Dark Star ate my babies.
Dark Star ate my babies. No, not Fark Star, Dark Star.
Fark Star swallowed my daycare.
Fark. So, yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Either that or let's see, it's like a yeah, maybe like that or like the Blackbird.
Just so everybody knows what we're talking about here. Yeah, it exists. I don't know. That's fake. But
Oh, it actually goes beyond Mach 10 too.
you got it, Tyson. You be safe, brother, and keep me in the loop. Don't be afraid to hit me up every once in a while. Keep me in the legal sitch rep. It does look like an angry dart.
Stay safe, man. Appreciate you, Ty.
I think
Cheers,
it's
Dad.
I think it's actually the F-44. I could be wrong. F-47. I think that's the one that's actually going to be released.
Is that the new Dodge Dart?
Yeah.
I actually drove by someone who was driving a Dodge Dart on the Jersey Parkway, and their license plate said Dart Vader. And
Dart Vader.
And it just made my day.
So Darth Jar Jar. That's a thing.
No, it's not.
Totally a thing.
Stop.
Come on, Steve. We got 13 viewers right now, dude.
Dart. We got to
talk
about.
Let's talk about something cool.
And you think the fictional?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. He's the one that ended the Republic, dude.
Now you're just trying.
He turned it into the fucking Empire. Padme trusted him, and he gave it over to Palpatine.
Darth Maul had lines originally in the theatrical release.
That's bullshit. That's complete. That's complete and other fucking Mandela bullshit. No, it isn't. If you actually watch the stuff, Darth Jar Jar, fucking Lucas himself said the whole key is Jar Jar. On a scale from 1 to 10, how intimidating would it be to ride up that road that goes up 9 vintillion elevation in 15 minutes?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how intimidating would it be to like just have your guts completely pancaked?
Yeah.
Probably a 10.
That's a 10. I'd say it's a 10. Alex is not that bad. I would just die. Would you ride the death roller coaster? The suicide coaster? Do you know about the suicide coaster?
No. What's a suicide coaster?
This guy in France was trying to come up with a way to to kill people without being in pain. So he created a roller coaster where you would drop down doing like 75, 100 miles an hour, and it would go into increasingly tighter loops, but hold you at 10 G's for over 10 minutes. So basically you just starve your brain of oxygen and die. Would you do it?
No.
Neither would I, because you die. It's stupid. If I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
There's easier ways and more fun ways to do that. I think I'd just like eat like 10 tabs of acid and a bunch of sleeping pills. I do not want to hurt myself. I don't. I love myself. I love my family. But I'm just saying that seems like more fun to me than a roller coaster that I'm going to black out on and like after loop 2.
I'd like to go at the age of 80 with a belly full of mead.
John, what do you imagine happened to the Springfield 3? The Springfield 3, which one is that?
Imagine a line for the death coaster. Is there a fast pass?
Is there a fast pass? Can I skip ahead? Springfield 3 refers to the 1992 disappearance of Susan Streeter, her mother Cheryl Levette, and Susie's friend Stacy McCall from Levitt's home in Springfield, Missouri, and vanished June 7th, 1982 after attending graduation parties. The disappearance, Susie Stacy went to Cheryl Levitt's house for after graduation parties. They were last seen around 2:15. And June 7th, investigation of the case. First leads were pursued, including tips about a transient person near the house and a man posing as a utility worker. Despite the investigation, no arrests have been made. The women's bodies have never been. I don't know enough. I did look it up. I'm reading it. Reading it right now. I would have to do more research into it and see if there was an active serial killer operating around that time. But I don't know that just this little snippet doesn't seem like enough. Oh, why am I tired?
The ghost will be greeted with the swarming of bees. How do you feel about music that...
Music sucks. Music sucks nowadays. I'm sorry to be a fucking fucking music sucks. Go ahead. What?
There goes my smile. How do you feel about music that is, whether it's ironically or like literally, or I would say both. Like, how do you feel about music that is very like anti-religion or even like anti-Christian? Like you ever listen to oh god, no, it's not.
American music sucks.
Behemoth. You ever listen to Behemoth?
No.
I know you're not like a big like heavy metal guy, but there's some songs that I'd want to pick your brain on because there's this one album, and I actually brought it up before. There's this one album that I'd love to riff off you because the whole album is essentially about like the.
What was the initial question? What do I feel about music that is like blatantly anti-Christian?
Yeah,
I'm
like
not into
if
it.
it's used as like a musical thing, like maybe like
I mean,
even if they're just like being like maybe ironic or satire.
uh, no, not into it. Um, I used to like Marilyn Manson. I don't like his hyper anti-religion stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't. So just because a band actually like sings about the Antichrist doesn't necessarily mean that it's like purposely like in the spirit of Antichrist. Because I feel like you could. How else do you talk about that stuff, or at least present it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but supposedly, like music and entertainment and media is like the devil's playground.
I could see that. I think it was you that actually was it you? I think it was you that sent me a thing recently on how like Sabrina Carpenter is like
Yeah, that was me.
yeah, like her stuff is like
Like blatant representation of ritualistic magic. Yes.
I've never gone out of my way to listen to any of her music, but I already know that like I wouldn't like it.
Idle
Um
hands, Alan. Idle hands.
I
Do the
think
do the devil's jerk.
my toilet is for sure the devil's playground. That poor toilet. The but I've never gone on my way to listen to her stuff because I immediately know I wouldn't like it. The few clips that I've ever seen of like her performances live on stage, I'm just like, this is absolute garbage. But the reason I asked is because the band Behemoth has this one song. I've never really like gone out like I'd never. That's another group that like I never bought any of their albums, but like there's this one song that they released that I actually really like, which is called "God Equals Dog," um, which is obviously along the lines of like mythology, religious symbolism, and like where like it's essentially like a palindrome.
Yeah.
Is that the word where it's like
Palindrome.
something? It is palindrome.
Same forward
Where
as
like
backwards.
yeah, where it's like mirroring there's like a relationship between the two, and I think the depiction that I got from it was like how um Egyptian gods used to have like dog like heads with like man bodies or something. But their lyrics are very like um pretty much about not forgiving uh Jesus Christ and
It's not your place to forgive. Not our
I'm pulling
place.
up the lyrics now.
It's not our
Oh,
place to forgive. It's his place to forgive. It's our place to ask for forgiveness. Some of my favorite bands, Tool, Nine Inch Nails, Mushroom
mhm.
Head, all these bands, they deal with a lot of this kind of stuff. There's a Mushroom Head song off of Double X. Uh, I mean, what is it called? I think it's not Solitaire. It's not These Filthy Hands. Is it episode 29? I think it's episode 29. Is it 29?
What is the River Ganga?
I don't know. Ganges?
Ganga.
I've never heard of it. No. Episode 29. I think it's
The
the new
Holy
Cult
River
King.
Ganga. Search. The Ganga, also known as the Ganges, is a sacred river in
Yeah, the
Hinduism
Ganges.
revered for its perceived ability to purify and cleanse.
Yeah. It's the same one they burn bodies and shit in.
Yeah, because the lyrics of that song are there's a serpent coiling around my neck, the adoring crescent moon in blazing night, the holy river Ganga flowing through my muddled hair in the ancient times before I learned of who I am. If I am a missing link between the pig and the divine, I shall cast the pearls before the swine. I am no good shepherd on an ox, but a solitude of the loneliest star, like 1,000 shrines subsumed into the void, like a dead space between the suns. Is a god to live in a dog? No, but the highest are of us. And then it says Elohim, Adonai, living God, and Jesus Christ, I shall not forgive. I forgive thee not.
Okay.
I think it's like one of those bands where I think they're kind of like reaching into a bag of like religious phrases and texts, and they just kind of throw them into
So
the lyric sheet.
now, one of the things we've had this conversation, all of the bands that I listen to that somebody might take as like anti-Christian, like Mushroomhead, they have this song "I'm the New Cult King." Their lyrics, more specifically, are about not like not blind faith of another man. It's usually blind. It's more talking about like this song, "The New Cult King." In that dream, I recall pieces of prisons, and I'm escaping. In the next big religion, I do the cross thing. The cross thing. Whichever way the wind blows, your mind in time. I'm 9. Our lives unwind. We find the wine red or white, like the days fade away. A cloud of smoke and blurred eyes. You're always brighter in the daytime. You fight it after midnight. He's talking about following man in religion. Now, sure, there's plenty of people who have struggled and wrestled with God. I have, for fuck's sake, and the thought thereof, and the deeper meanings to things. But that's where I say, like, I'm not religious in the sense of like organized religion. Like, I don't believe church is a thing. We've talked about that. I think that all of that stuff is there to deviate and control behavior. And that's where all of the guys that I follow, even Maynard, he talks about how, he wrote the song Judith, which literally the chorus is "fuck your God." And really what it is it's more of a representation of him wrestling with the idea of God while watching his mother suffer. And then he writes "Wings for Judith," which he basically it's him confronting God of why he thinks his mother was a saint for basically suffering her entire life. You know the story about that?
No.
About Maynard's mother? She suffered an aneurysm and was paralyzed and had a whole bunch of issues after that, but she never deviated from her faith. And it's one of the things that, like, she didn't deviate, Maynard did. And Maynard wrestled with all of it. And Maynard questioned everything. And at the end of it all, after she dies, he finally came back to God. Because he realized that it's bigger than him. It's bigger than Maynard. That it's all bigger than us. But that's why, like I say, like, one of my favorites is what's an ant to a man? What's a man to how does it go? What's an ant to a man? What's a man to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer? You know what I mean? Does that harken anything? Does that stimulate thought?
No, it does. I like it. That's why I love when we have these particular conversations. I can relate to that because actually, while my having a situation that was relatively similar to that. When my mom had suffered an aneurysm, and she went through like a lot of PT and OT, and she got back on her feet actually miraculously. But then after 6 years, I think finally was when her body was just it kind of she couldn't go on anymore. And while she was on her deathbed, I remember she said she was scared, but I remember her saying she was scared of what she's gonna come back as, which meant that in those final moments she believed that she was going to be reincarnated.
I do believe that if you choose to be worldly, you will be reincarnated.
And it's funny because I've noticed I've been seeing red cardinals more often since
I see them everywhere. So, have you ever read the lyrics "Wings for Marie"? I thought it was "Wings for Judith," but it's
Wings for Marie.
Wings for Marie.
I have not.
So Maynard's mother was Judith Marie Keenan, and so the lyrics are simple. That's you believed in the movements none could see. You believed in me. A passionate spirit, uncompromised, boundless and open, a light in your eyes, dim and immobilized. Vacant, broken, fell at the hands of those movements that I wouldn't see. Cause it was you who prayed for me so. What have I done to be a son to an angel? What have I done to be worthy? Daylight dims, leaving cold fluorescence. Difficult to see you in this light. Please forgive this selfish question, but what am I to say to all these ghouls tonight? She never told a lie. Well, might have told a lie, but never lived one. Didn't have a life, but surely saved one. See, I'm all right. Now it's time for us to let you go. That was his poem to his mother. 10,000. The album 10,000 Days is based on how much from the time her aneurysm happened till when she passed away, and that's why it's called 10,000 Days. And this is just
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, this is an amazing album.
I love that album. I would say it's probably my favorite album of all theirs. I just never really thought to like dissect a lot of their lyrics. Like back then, I more so like throughout high school. That's kind of when I started really getting into like writing. Because that's when I first started like being a lyricist and a vocalist in bands. But I never really thought to like dissect and really get into a deep dive of lyrics until ironically until I joined Me versus I, and then that one hit home though.
So
especially that last line. Now it's time for us to let you go.
This is another one of the songs off that album. It's called Right Into. It's one of my all-time favorite Tool songs. Has just absolutely phenomenal lyric.
I think like Vicarious and
see, that's everybody hooks on everybody.
I had like on repeat a lot on that album. Like I used to listen to that album all the way through.
That's their mainstream stuff.
I think it was mainly because I used to really like the music videos, and I like that their music videos weren't always. I can't stand music videos where it's like the band pretending to play and they're lip syncing their own songs. Like I love a music video that tells a story. Yeah.
So this song, Right Into, one of the lyrics in here really fucking hit me. Essentially, this is like the angels looking at human beings and their behavior. There's a line in here. There it is. It's right down there. So the song opens up, angels on the sideline, puzzled and amused. Why did Father give these humans free will? Now they're all confused. Don't these talking monkeys know that Eden has enough to go around? Plenty of holy garden, silly monkeys, where there's one, you're bound to divide it right in two. Angels on the sideline, baffled and confused. Father bless them all with reason, and this is what they choose. There's a line here that resonates with me, and this is the part that just fucking, if I could just get people to understand. Repugnant is a creature who would squander the ability to lift an eye to heaven, conscience of his fleeing time here. Repugnant is a creature who would squander the ability to lift an eye to heaven, conscious of his fleeting time here.
I like that.
Ew.
Can you say hi, everybody?
Betty.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. What's up, bud?
What's up? Sissy and Boom Boom asleep?
No.
No? Where's Sissy and Bum Bum?
No.
You don't know?
Bed.
They're in bed. That's what I thought.
Oh, bullshit right on your face.
Holden says, I would chime into this conversation, but I was not prepared for these lyrics right now.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, buddy. Can you say bye-bye, everybody?
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, there you go, monster.
Yeah, Holden, that link is the page for all the lyrics to the last album that I had written.
Lift and pull. Lift and pull. Lift. Lift up. There you go. Now pull towards you. Hold on a second.
All right. They've got the lyrics, the tracks all backwards, but Holden, how do you usually listen to your music? Through Spotify, through Apple Music? Natalia Kills, aka Teddy Sinclair songs. I'm not familiar with those. If I'm being honest.
So, you know, Penn Jillette is like super atheist, right?
Penn Jillette.
Yes, from Penn and Teller.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know his last name.
Yeah, he was doing an interview, and he was talking to a couple of Christians, and he says, I know this means nothing, but as an atheist, I have no respect for a Christian who doesn't proselytize. Proselytize is to talk about their religion. And the guy was like, why? Because like his stance was sort of like just kind of letting people do their own thing and figuring out. And Penn brought up a really good point, and actually it's the point that where I kind of come from now, the way that I think about things. He says, if you, we're gonna roll reverse here. If you have the answer, the salvation to my soul, you have the answer to joy and happiness and healthiness, and you're not willing to share it with somebody.
Yeah. It's interesting that him being an atheist still would say that, which
Yep.
I respect.
Yeah. Says you fucking should. What kind of Christian are you that you're not going? And that's when I was just kind of like, because I was never big about talking about it. Like I would talk about it when people would bring it up, and I would kind of give like, because how that always comes across to everybody. Somebody's always going to be like, so what do you think? And then I tell them what I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always interesting because people always have the same opinion where they're like, I never expected this of you. Well, I know. But that's because I went through my fire. I went through my paths, and that's where I've started to sort of want to talk about it more. I don't think it's necessary to shove down people's throats. I also think that when people are judgmental from a Christian standpoint, they're not being true Christians. If they're willing to judge another person's lifestyle, or living, they're not committing a sin, but they're definitely not being Christian. It's not my job to judge you. It's not my job to judge anybody. That's God's job. That's it. There's only one judge, and that fucking absolutely abused line. Only God can judge me. Yeah, in most respects, yeah. Yes. It's not my job. It's not my place. I don't have the ability to judge anyone. I can't give you forgiveness. I can forgive you for whatever happened between us. You may have a sin that you want to be forgiven for, but your confession to me is not the confession that needs to be done. It's your confession to God. You know what I mean? Like, and I hate, that's one of my gripes with Catholics is that, the substitution of God in the confessional with a priest. I'm not okay with that. Like, it's no man's place to take the position of God.
We talked about that because it's like you're pretty much it's pretty much just like giving the church an excuse to have one of their guys, hearing the gossip of someone in like it's like, yeah, prayer is supposed to be between you and God, not like this. Just because this guy puts a collar on, he's now the ear of God.
The other one, we've talked about this. At no point in the Bible does Jesus or God say, raise your hands to the sky and pray out loud to me. Yeah. Never. Actually, Jesus says to do the exact opposite, to go into a private place, to go in, to where it's just you and God. And everybody says that I don't hear God. I don't hear him. I pray all the time, but I don't hear him. Did you go and seclude yourself the way you're supposed to? Sequester yourself away from everything? Jesus used to pray for 3 hours straight every day as soon as he woke up. Where did he go? The forest. Away from everybody else, away from every other human being. Why? Because that's the only way you're going to hear God. Got to get away from all the noise.
Now, do you believe that there is a similarity between, say, people who are Buddhists and people who are Christian and like people like. Do you think that
I think
Buddha
morality.
and God?
I think there's a morality overlap, of course.
Because I find that I've personally found similarities, especially when it comes to things like prayer, and it's I think prayer is synonymous with meditation
I don't.
because you're looking within yourself, and God is within us all, and you're to communicate with God and to do that. I believe that in itself, prayer is maybe not synonymous entirely, but like it's a form of meditation, if that makes sense. Like the way I see it, it's like God is within us, God is within the universe, God is
I
all.
I think if you honestly want to hear God, I think if you honestly want to have God's voice, if you really, really, really want to hear God's voice, I think what you have to do is set aside all of the ritualistic fucking mass produced, mass said prayers, all the ritualistic prayers that everybody abides by, because I think he's absolutely sick and tired of hearing that. I'm pretty sure that sounds like a phone drone to him at this point in time.
Bam, 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 bam.
I just think that, the people who say, 40 Hail Marys and fucking 33 Our Fathers, I think he's sick and tired of fucking hearing it, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think that if you want to pray, you go and you speak to him directly. You guys are unloading too much shit for me to keep up with. Sorry, Alden.
Doesn't it, Halden?
Those will hear who listen and don't make noise. Yes, but I also think that if you're going to pray to him, that you should make it a personal prayer. I think if I called you every day and was like, "Hey, man, things are great. I'm so glad you're so good, and everything's so awesome, and everything's great." Okay, bye. I think that you're eventually going to stop answering the fucking phone.
Yeah.
If you know that what the phone call is going to be every day, when I call you every fucking day and say the exact same thing over and over and over again. So
calls God twirling phone cord. So what you thinking about?
You know what I mean? I think that just showing gratitude for waking the fuck up. I think just simply waking up and going, thanks for me being here. Thanks for letting me have another day. I appreciate you. I think that's a perfect amount of prayer. Going to bed. Thank you for letting me experience this. I don't think you need to say much.
Another day.
You know what I mean? I don't think you need to say much more than that.
But but to get back to my main question, do you think that there's I think more so like, do you think that there is how do you feel about the similarities between like Jesus and then like Horus, Dionysus, Mithra?
I've put all that shit aside. I don't. It's cool.
So you don't think those gods are valid?
No. No, I've looked into the stories. I was the one that told you about Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh being the proto-Jesus story.
So Gilgamesh in the Bible.
Gilgamesh wasn't in the Bible. Gilgamesh was a Babylonian god that was literally
influence on the Bible.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh is not mentioned by name in the Bible. However, the Epic of Gilgamesh, a
Mesopotamian
epic poem, shares several themes and motifs with the Hebrew Bible, which is the Old Testament, right?
Yes, Torah.
Most notably, the flood story and the concept of a paradise lost. Some scholars believe the biblical flood, blah, 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 bullshit. So, like, that was... But do you think people who are praying to Allah, people who are praying to Jesus, people who are praying to Buddha, do you think that they're all? My personal belief is I think that they're all praying to the same God. They may think that it's a completely separate entity, but I think
I used to think the same thing.
you used to think the same
I
thing.
used to think the same thing. I used to think the same thing, and I used to wonder why. What's the deal with the Jews hating on Christians, and what's the deal with Christians hating on, and why do they all hate each other? Because they're all praying to the same one. Then I started looking into their symbology. Then I started realizing that the ones that the Jews pray to and the ones that the Muslims pray to have been infiltrated. The Islams, the Islamis.
Which, by the way, if anybody ever wants to talk about religion or aliens or anything like that, and chime in, let us know. Our Discord is in the link in the description of this video or in our bio, wherever you're watching us from. Just hop in the general chat and or the general voice channel in our Discord. Let us know in chat on the stream that you are in that channel, and we will drag you to the live, and we'll pick your brain and we'll talk about that kind of stuff, because we are open to talking about that stuff, especially religion. Religion's more of John's forte. I'm pretty deep in the alien stuff. Yeah, like I've always believed that. Not always, because I was brought up Catholic, and my family kind of just like hammered this into my brain, like, this is what we believe, so you believe in it too. And I'm like,
so that song by Mushroom Head, The New Cult King, that's where some of my because they talk about why should I just accept a religion simply because I was born into it, which is why I started questioning, not because of that song, but that's one of those things that kind of reinforced that thought process through my head, was like, yeah, why do I just have to accept that, like, I have to do it this way? Why do I have to go to church? You don't. That's the truth. It literally says it in the Bible. And yet people fool themselves into thinking that you have to go to church. Like, granted, I get it. Like, it's sort of the gym mindset of, like, if you don't have a friend who's going to take you to the gym, you're probably not going to go to the gym. Well, that's more of a you problem. That's more of a you not having fucking discipline problem. And that's sort of what following Christ is really all about, is that it's about discipline overall. I mean, because realistically, if you just boiled down what the religion's actually about, the 10 Commandments, I don't give a fuck about the other 180 fucking rules that the Jews written into it. Because Christ even says when he comes back that I am the fulfillment of the law. All previous laws are to be respected, but the only laws that God ever wrote with his own hand in the Bible were the 10 Commandments. And the Sermon on the Mount was literally a reiteration of the 10 Commandments. And no other laws, at no point in Leviticus God did not write Leviticus. And I'm sure people are going to say that that's heresy, but I don't really give a fuck. The bottom line is God gave us the 10 commandments to live by. That's it. That's the only laws that he ever told us to live by. Not this fucking wearing this and that and do and da. And don't fucking wear polyester with fucking cotton because that's a sin, and don't be unclean and all that shit. Literally, when Jesus came back, he fought against all of that stuff. He fought against the Pharisees. And the whole point is that the Pharisees were pushing Levitical law. And he was constantly like, no, this is not what it's about. This is not what it's about. It's not about wearing fucking gems and jewels and you know, a priestly class that's better than everybody else, because that's not what the religion's about. And what's funny is we keep falling back into these fucking cycles of getting sucked up into that, of this person's interpretation is better than this person's interpretation. And yeah, I'm kind of doing the exact same thing. But out of the entire book, we overlook the fact that the only time God ever wrote anything down, ever, through any of it, with his own hand, was the Ten Commandments.
And God wrote that in stone, and he told what's his name to go grab him. Moses. I have 15, 10. I love that part.
Thanks for following Gabriel Fox PP. Fox PP.
But yeah, like, so, but no, I can agree with a lot of that. I think that a lot of people seem to misinterpret a lot of the Bible. But I'm with you there on how
people warp things to benefit themselves, and that's really what the biggest problem with all of it is that they're and literally the Bible talks about people who are willing to warp the gospel to benefit themselves. Remember when I said vainglory? Oops. Hello. Good night to all.
Gabriel, appreciate that.
Yes. Hello. Good night. Thank you. I'm from Brazil. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Pleasure to meet you too. Hello from America.
I wish I knew some Portuguese.
Right.
All these languages I speak, and I don't know any Portuguese. That was another question I want to ask you. Do you think like biblically accurate angels, like the eyeballs with all the extra wings and stuff, were like the seraphim were, I think, the ones who had like 6 wings, and then like 2, and then like the the wheel ones. There's like different kinds of angels. Like there were humanoid angels, but then there was like angels that were just like wheels with eyes and shit. Like, do you think like that those were legit entities?
Yes. And I think we're probably going to see them soon. We're just talking about religion right now, Gabriel. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think we're going to see the Ophilim. I also think that we're going to see the Nephilim probably soon too, if we haven't already.
Well, that's what the
Straight white American Jesus, the most listened to religion and politics podcast today, an in-depth examination of the culture and politics of Christian nationalism and the religious right by 2 ex-evangelical ministers turned religious professors. Our work is analytical, unflinching, and accessible. 3 times per week, we break down the most important topic events and history as an intersection of religion and politics through a research-based approach. They're feds.
What the fuck?
I'm going to tell you right. Well, Halden told me to look it up. What are my thoughts on Skinwalker Ranch? I think that it's a ley line where there's a fucking portal that opens up and shit comes out of it. And I am not kidding. I'm dead serious about that. You could put a lot of topics. I don't know. You are games, something, you know. We do everything. That's why it's called the General Admissions Podcast, because we just talk about everything and all things at all times. But I would be willing to say, with the amount of, if you have ever wondered what social historical forces for the religious right led white Christians to usher Donald Trump into the White House, how and why January 6th is fueled by religious fervor, and what comes next for a nation threatened by Christian nationalism, this podcast is for you. As former insider to the critical scholars of religion, Dan Miller and Bradley Onishi have a unique perspective on American politics. I'm going to tell you right now, they're fucking feds.
You could put a lot of topics. I don't know. Youre games, something, you know. Yeah, we talk about a lot of like politics, ghosts, aliens, religion, gaming, film, and media, and music, and how they're all connected.
They're in Vermont. Well, then say less, brother. Isn't that Bernie Sanders' state? Vermont. That
Here
fucking
we go.
that commie cuck.
Ophonym. The word ophonym comes from the Hebrew word ophonym, which means wheels. This type of angel was mentioned in the book of Ezekiel.
I'm saying that they are federal agents posing as normal people. I'm saying they work for the FBI to do fucking CIA shit. Is what I'm saying. I think people don't realize how our culture is curated to the nth degree, and that our behavior is fucking monitored and altered and Steve Teddy Sinclair's lyrics are really deep. Fucking Halden. I love the kid.
I don't know who Teddy Sinclair is.
It's an artist that he likes, and he likes to talk about them.
Fair enough.
So come on, ask me more questions. Ask me. I want more questions. Hit me more questions.
Yeah. I got you. Why is bread? Why is bread? What is what? What is what? What is what?
No, I don't think they sound credible at all. Anybody with that many buzzwords in their bio makes me think that they're fucking up to no good and suspicious.
So seraphim, 6 wings, 2 cover feet, 2 cover face, and 2 for flight. Which name means the burning ones, and they are attendants at the throne of God. They praise God, singing, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." The cherubim name means the fullness of wisdom, and they contemplate God's providence, assigned to protect special places.
Alden says you guys should talk only about what I have to say because I can't keep up with anything else. Sorry, lost you there, Alden.
Sucks, doesn't it, when you're giving us
You do
5
this,
different...
it's fucking mutual,
serial
bud. You do the
killers to look up
same
and-
shit to us constantly.
What do you guys think about this serial killer and this from this time thing? And then, what do you guys think would happen if you went up an umptillion foot ramp within 15 minutes? What do you guys think? And while you're thinking about that, let me ask you something.
Fucking Halden, you're so nuts. I love you, dude. Okay, to answer your first question, Halden, I haven't listened to their podcast to give them like to give you an exact answer, but I can tell you simply by reading their little biograph or their little fucking splash screen that yes, I think Todd Grande is more credible than them, hands down. Because I think Todd Grande is just a legal scholar telling you his opinion and his feelings. And I think they are trying to capitalize on like hot topic political gain, or I would keep up with it if I was given more time to think. My apologies. I've been told that I talk too slow. And do I think, if you haven't followed us, do you think Dr. Grande is more brilliant than Edgar Allan Poe? I mean, completely different. They're from completely different things. I don't know.
Do you think Bert and Ernie were really in a homosexual relationship?
Do you think Bert and Ernie are more profound than... Fuck, I can't do the shit that you do, Halden.
His brain's just wired different, man. Thrones, dominions, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and angels.
Did you see the man with the highest IQ came out and said that Jesus is the way?
I did not see that.
Yep, he's the second one too. The American guy who was originally the man with the highest IQ. He had a 200% or a 200 point IQ, and he came out and says that Jesus is the only answer. No matter, and he did what I did, which is he went and researched everything first, and then went like everywhere I look, I can't deny that it just comes down to the fact that
I see pretty girls everywhere I go.
But then a guy with a 256 point IQ came out and said the exact same thing.
I wonder. Yeah, because now I'm looking at it, there's like all these different kinds of angels and shit, and interesting. I kind of want to do a.
What's his fucking name?
Where is it?
Where is he?
Yeah, I think that there's a. I think that there's, and this is just my personal belief. I think that every
The guy with the 200 point IQ, I'm sorry, Giga Society, the High Q Society announced that Kim had the world's highest. Okay, so the original highest IQ holder was a guy by the name of Christopher Langen. And he's an American horse rancher and a former bar bouncer, but he had the highest IQ for like, he held it for like 10 years or something along those lines. The most current highest IQ holder.
It's like us bar bouncers aren't as dumb as y'all think.
No, we tend to not be. We tend to be actually quite fucking proficient at being aware of everything around us. The current holder at 276 is Young-hoon Kim of South Korea.
Oh, thank God it's South. God, if he was from North Korea, they wouldn't stop rubbing it in everybody's faces.
Later, Raven.
Gonna lurk into an art stream on the other side. Have fun. Raven, appreciate you hanging out. Have fun.
Yeah, here it is right here.
10, 13, and...
The world's smartest man with a recorded IQ of 276 points says he believes Jesus Christ is God and it is the way and the truth and the life. Kim is recognized by the Giga Society for having the highest IQ in the world.
Nerd.
The best way, I'm pretty sure he came out and he was like, the way that he did it, he was like, Jesus Christ is king and suck it.
Man, what's
are we
another?
Are we back? You want to come back to say hi again?
Oh, dude, we're so back.
And Raven just left. And what are you doing? It's 10 o'clock at night. What are you doing up? Say, I had a nap. I had a long nap. Can you say hi? No. Can you say your ABCs? What are you trying to tell me? iPad?
What's up, bud?
iPad.
Pink iPad? Where are you going? You don't know? Come on. Say hi to everybody. You're like, screw this. I don't really want to. I want to go on I want a pink iPad.
Pink iPad.
Can you say A, B, C,
No.
D,
No.
No.
F,
No.
G?
Pink one.
You're not supposed to be on the iPad.
Pink one. Pink. Pink iPad.
How old are you?
Pink iPad.
How old are you?
No.
How old are you?
No.
If you answer that question, then I'll let you go.
iPad.
How old are you?
Pink iPad.
Oh, you are stubborn.
Pink iPad.
Can you say I'm 2?
No. Pink iPad. iPad.
Can you say I love Steve?
Write that down.
Watered down. Can you say I love Steve?
No.
No.
Pink one.
My man's got a one-track mind. Pink iPad. That's all he cares about.
I want to watch cartoons.
I want to watch cartoons. Pink iPad.
Pink iPad.
I'll be right back. I got to set up his pink iPad.
So yeah, anybody who's watching, we appreciate you watching. We appreciate anyone who follows. We got a few subscribers across the board tonight. On Twitch specifically. Appreciate those who came through and did that. What else? Yeah, anyone who follows, appreciate you. This is something that we do the current schedule right now is every Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And you can find us on Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, and Kick. And anytime anybody wants to chime in and talk with us on literally whatever subject, really. I mean, if we're talking about something else, but you have a specific question on maybe another topic that you want to kind of get our take on, just message us in whatever chat that you're in and let us know. And we will guide you to the general voice chat. We'll drag you into the live and we can talk shop.
I just realized it's 10 o'clock.
It is 10:07.
All right. I think I have to try
Shall
and
we
get.
call it?
Yeah, I got to get this little midget back to bed. Little person? Dwarf? Madness is my old friend. Alden, go listen to Tool. What, E?
Well, we appreciate everyone stopping by today.
If you say pink iPad again, I swear.
Thank you.
We're just leaving right now, Tyson. So glad you hopped on before we said goodnight. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Daddy.
What, buddy? Can you say your ABCs? What are you pointing at?
iPad.
I know the pink iPad. You got the pink iPad over there. Sleep well, guys. Thanks for everybody who stopped in. Thanks for everybody for following. Tyson, thank you very much for the super sub.
You're a madman.
You are.
Love you.
And I'll be back Friday. I have an idea what I'm going to do. You're just going to have to see. Okay.
Oh man, I'm excited.